Tropicana Field is generally seen as one of the worst ballparks in MLB, and because of this, I was very skeptical when I visited last May, expecting the worst. But I ended up loving my experience there, and it became one of my favorite ballparks I've ever visited. Now the first question you might have is, isn't the Trop destroyed? And as of right now, yes. But with the first panel just replaced and the Rays expected to make a return next season, I thought it was the perfect time to make this video. For context, it's been a bucket list goal of mine to see a game at every MLB stadium, and I've been working on it over the years. I've been to 20 of the 30 parks so far, and I can confidently say the Trop is in my top 5. Now you might think I'm absolutely crazy, but just give me a second to explain. I rank ballparks mostly on how unique they are. The quirks, features, and overall layout all play a role. I know a lot of people rank ballparks on food and amenities, but I don't always utilize them, so they aren't a big factor for me personally. My favorite thing to do when I visit a new ballpark is go early and explore. I was hit with a blast of AC and greeted by a mascot on a unicycle juggling in the big entry rotunda. Walking through the concourse, I have to say it was the most unique of any stadium I've ever been to. The best way I can describe it is like stepping into an early 2010s theme park. A real time capsule. There was a massive statue of a player reaching out to catch a ball, and displays cut into the walls that looked a little cheaply made, but I thought they were super cool. There were also Rays themed murals covering the walls, and even a road painted on the floor, which really added to the vibe. As you went along, the concourse narrowed until it felt almost tunnel-like. It's hard to fully describe just how unique and strange they were, but hopefully these pictures kind of give you an idea. On the outside, there was a walkway that let you circle nearly the entire field without any obstructed views. A rare feature that the Trop actually shares with my #1 favorite stadium, Camden Yards. The outfield decks were also really cool. The floors were made of a material that looked like wood, almost like a patio deck. And of course, there was the famous Ray tank in right center field. There was even an open gate in center where we could look out and stand at field level. All in all, the ballpark was full of character. And maybe it was a little vintage and outdated, but still incredibly unique. Just a day earlier, I had visited the Marlins Lone Depot Park, which felt corporate and bland, with the glass panels in the outfield being its only standout feature. In comparison, I actually enjoyed the Trop a lot more. When it came to the actual game day experience, I enjoyed every part of it. The game was Yankees vs. Rays on Mother's Day, so the stadium was pretty packed. For reference, out of all the parks I've been to, I've seen the Dodgers or Yankees as the visiting team at 5 of them, and those matchups usually drive up ticket prices. With that said, this time around, I was able to get tickets directly from the Rays for just $20, while the cheapest ones on the secondary market were going for around $70, which was pretty insane. Our tickets were on the upper outfield deck, so not the best seats, but they gave me a pretty great view of the catwalks. Jokes aside, for what I paid, I'm definitely not complaining. Later on, we moved down to the upper part of the lower bowl since there were plenty of empty seats and no ushers around to stop us. The actual viewing experience was also unique. Since the team closes the upper deck during the regular season, the ballpark is essentially a single deck venue. I'm sure the 2 temporary stadiums the Rays and A's are using this season have a similar intimate feel, but out of the major league parks I've been to, this was easily the best. I've never felt closer to the action than I did here, and maybe it was just in my head, but I swear the acoustics were better too, both from the crowd and the sound of the ball coming off the bat. All in all, that's why I like the Trop so much, because of how unique it was. In that sense, it stands alongside Fenway and Wrigley in its own way. It's the only permanent dome left in MLB, and likely the last we'll ever see. That said, I can definitely understand why people have their gripes with the stadium. The location isn't great, everything inside feels outdated, and the turf and roof give it a dull look, especially on TV. I can admit the Rays probably need a new stadium to secure their future in Tampa Bay, but that doesn't change the fact that I personally love this place. It felt like a vessel from the not-so-distant past with an intimate charm, and I encourage anyone who hasn't been to catch a game there in the next couple of years while you still can. Who knows, you might end up having a change of heart about this ballpark too.